Okay, so start with the lion, or do you want to start somewhere else?
No, I think the lion is a good starting point.
Lion's a good starting point.
It is.
Yeah, I'm going to look at, I'm going to say the male of the herd.
Male of the herd.
Pride, male of the pride.
Yeah.
We'll get onto herds later.
Yeah, we'll get onto herds later. Okay, go. Okay.
I wonder how much we're going to get into that male-female bit because of the of where nature takes it.
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
it does exist in the lions. I mean, obviously, lions, king of the jungle, or queen of the jungle, I would say, because it really is the females of the lion kingdom that rule the roost in terms of looking at bringing on the cubs, hunting for food. The males have got it easy. They really do.
There's another analogy here that I don't think was intended.
But I think where do we start with the lion in terms of it's all about developing and growing the pride, and the pride starts small and it grows, and you can get prides of up to 30, 40 lions that need feeding, and the bigger the pride, the more food you need, and the more territory you need. And lions are all about protecting their territory, making their kills to feed their pride and growing their pride. And the overlap to me to business is very, very clear there. It's that SMEs and entrepreneurial SMEs, those that we love working with because they're challenging, they're fun, they're frustrating, all of those emotions. They go on those similar journeys. They start off small. They're around the kitchen table, or they're 3 people or 1 person or 5 people, but they start off at a very small stage, in the way that a lion's, literally a male and a female come together, have a cub, suddenly that's the start of their pride. And then the sisters get involved, and then maybe a brother would get involved. Suddenly a business is looking to go on that journey. And that territory bit of what is that business looking to achieve? What is its strategy? What is the value it's bringing to its client base, its customer base, and therefore how can it expand it? And what's the limitation on its territory as well? Because the lions, if they're not successful, the pride will shrink, and then if a business is not successful, then the business will shrink. It won't be able to attract the best clients. It won't be able to attract the best talent. And to me, that's part of the driving strategy, the aspirational strategy of most SMEs that I've worked with over the last 20 years or so, is they're looking to be that destination place for the best clients, for the best talent, so that they can bring them on board. If you've got the right people who interact in the right way, and you've got a product or suite of services that add value, then people want to deliver those services. People want to come and buy those services because it's adding value to their business. So to me, the crossover of trying to develop the pride is really a keen overlap for the business, and you can visualize that journey that a business goes on. So as it gets bigger, you go from that 5-person people around the kitchen table, you're suddenly a 30-person business, or now a 50-person business. You can't go out there and kill a mouse to eat. You can't go out there and win a £1,000 contract. You now need that £100,000 contract. You need that £500,000 contract. We talk about those pillar clients. How many pillar clients does a business of a certain size need? How many secondary clients does it need to bring in and sustain that? What does the sales and marketing pipeline need to look like? What's the conversion rates of bringing those in? Yeah. What's the conversion rates on a pride going hunting? Because every time a pride goes hunting, whether it's the males or the females or a combination, they're not always successful. Businesses are not always successful when they go hunting as well.
No. And actually, when you talk about growth and you talk about expansion, or you go out and you talk about the hunt, right, comes massive operational complexity. But, it's very simple running 5 people around a kitchen table. It's a completely different headache running 30 people around a much larger table, and then 50 people, and then 100 people. Sadly, with the growth of the business and the success of the business comes headaches and problems and infrastructure issues and points where you struggle, right? And you need to know what to do next in order to unlock that, because we always say, what got you here won't get you there.
Yeah.
That's and that, to being able to understand that. We talked yesterday, didn't we, about pride as a two meaning word, right? So you have the pride, pack of lions out hunting, but we also talked about that as a bit of a human downfall, bit of an issue sometimes in leaders.
Pride comes before a fall.
Yeah.
I think yesterday, or when we had spoken about it, it was identifying that in a lot of these businesses that have gone from 5 people sitting around the kitchen table through to 30 people, more often than not, there is dependency on 1 or 2 people within an agency. And more often than not, it is the owner or the entrepreneur that started it, or somebody that has come along in those early days of the journey and has effectively cultivated and grown an awesome service with great people, an awesome culture, being able to bring in the feeds as often as needed. And that's actually allowed that growth and has gotten them to that point. But then there's almost that point in a journey where the entrepreneur, the senior person wants to step back. They constantly the bottleneck. Everything needs to go through them. There's that element where you have a 30-person business and you ask yourself, why does it always sit on my desk? Why is it always coming to me? I've got really smart people around the table, and you almost feel like as much as you're a blocker, you also need to step in and help, and we kind of, or at least the idea and the analogy with the lion and the pride, the flip side of the coin is going, every lion has a role to play within the pride, and each of them trust one another to deliver that role. And actually, in nature, it's really, I say it's easy, like I'm a lion and I know, but I think it's inherent that they understand what their role is. As you grow into it, they through their journey and through their growth, they understand. In today's world, the market is moving so quickly and businesses are needing to react and respond that sometimes the role or responsibility gets diluted, or something needs to happen much faster than the business can actually keep up. And what ends up happening is that there isn't clarity on who's doing what anymore, because you did it last time and I'll pick it up this time because we're so busy trying to find our next kill that we're just bypassing, and we're almost in that fight or flight, or that fire. What's it? That everything's on fire. What is that saying?
I liken it to a hamster wheel, where you just have to
just
continuously running, right? And then things are just spinning off the hamster wheel because you're running so far. But you run to keep up, don't you?
Absolutely.
And if you have a bottleneck and everything's centralized through the main owner or the main, CEO, that becomes a problem. And you need a solution for that. You need to know how you're going to get out of that pivotal moment, that stuck situation. Get off the hamster wheel.
The crisis management, that's what I was getting to. Because you almost go into crisis management mode where everything is a fire that I need to put out. So you become reactive as opposed to strategic. So linking back to, a pride, for me it is about, how do you create that trust from that CEO, the owner, the entrepreneur, and actually build that trust and have that trust with a team underneath them that is capable and willing and wanting and is hungry to do it. So how do you create that trust? But similarly, if you're in that position, the flip side and probably the darker side of the pride is the individual's pride, right? Going, I'm an owner. I've done this for the past 15 years. I've grown it from 5 to 30. What does it look like if I'm not the one fixing things? What is my role if I were to take a step back and not be the go-to person that knows all the answers because I've been here from day one? And it's almost, there is an element of going, it's uncomfortable for that person to acknowledge, I want to step away. I don't know how to step away, and I don't know what I'm stepping into, and I might need support in that. And I think that's the other side is just having that, reflective moment, that self-awareness, whatever it looks like, going, what is better for the business? How can I empower my team? And that might be hand in hand, me saying, I do need to step back, but this is what's holding me back from doing it. And having that support with not letting your pride or your ego play a part in possibly holding the team or the business back.
And we talked, didn't we, at the start about, where we've been in our careers and the things that we've done and, what makes us the experts. And I think we handhold a lot of our clients and a lot of senior managers through that situation. We are the hand to hold, the shoulder to lean on, cry on, wipe away the tears when it's really tough. But there are, those transition periods that owners go through and they need that support. And we started this business because we were lonely. We were lonely on our own. We didn't feel that was something that we wanted to do anymore. And now we're kind of going, oh, you're also really lonely, right? Because who have you got to share that with? Yeah, I don't want to be made uncomfortable. This is my business and I don't want to give it up. Or what do I do if I do give that bit up? What's the new me? Those are all transitional periods where you do need someone to be your wing person and to give you that support, to give you that hand to hold, to say, I've seen this before, or you know what, actually I haven't seen it before, but I know someone that has, and get you the right support at the right time so that you can be the best version of yourself.
You're right. We're forming our own pride here. We're learning as we're going.
Yes.
And I think we're still working out our own roles because we've got a lot of things that we overlap, and we've got similar experiences, and we've got particular areas that we've had experience of in the past. We've seen things that have been slightly different, and we've got those areas where we're looking to cover our own blind spots. And I think that goes back to the pride of lions as well. When they go hunting for that kill, for that next new business, is they're covering each other's blind spots. They're not all chasing the ball, in a very different analogy. World Cup season here.
Kids football.
Having watched England beat Croatia last night. We're not. The Lions don't chase the ball. What they do is they have their roles, as you talked about, and it's understanding their roles, understanding their individual and collective strengths. What's my role in the team? Yeah. Not what's my role for myself. We're going through that learning now, and it's fun and it's challenging, and we're learning as well. The other point that came to mind as I was just listening to you there was the absolute need for communication. If you've had the privilege of being close to a lion, particularly a male lion, when they are communicating to their pride and the pride is a mile or two away, it's guttural. They are communicating loudly. They're communicating clearly. I don't know what they're saying. I'm feeling it's like having bass go through your complete body when that lion is 30 yards away and it's communicating to its pride, to its brother, to its cubs, and to the females. It's basically saying, and this is where the ranger was either making it up or translating, basically saying, I found a good place for us to camp tonight. Bring the pride over here. It was clear communication. It was loud communication. And I think there's a lot to learn from the need there. If you are the leader of a pride, whether that's as an individual or as a team, you've got to communicate loudly. You've got to communicate clearly. And you've got to explain, I don't know how much that male lion was explaining why they should go there. Or probably say, just get over here. We got a watering hole here and there's a big herd of buffalo just down there. So get your butts over here now. Or whether you're saying, actually, you might want to come over here because. And there's different ways of communicating, as we know. Yeah. And there's a different time for a different style of communication. But that was, again, the analogy that comes to mind of that lion, that overlap between the lions and the way that a business team operates and how the leadership needs to communicate, coordinate the team so that it's a high-performing team. Yeah. You don't want just a high-performing individual. You want a high-performing team.
That's what empowers owners to be able to step back, right? And give them the chance they need to take a breath and look for the next strategic maneuver that needs to be made. Because if you're constantly in the driving seat, you can't read the road ahead, and that's what takes you to stage 2, stage 3. So it's great communication, telling people roles and responsibilities, and seeding that into a way that's right for your business, without over corporatizing. Is that even a word? I just made it up. If it is, if it isn't, I just made that up. But without, being able to put that into your pride, to your pack, and make your animals elite. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we want to say on lions?
I guess what are the so whats? What are the so whats from there? And there's been a few through it. I think there's the need for understanding the needs of your business as it expands, and the needs when you are a 30-person pride to a 3-person pride is quite different, and you need to operate differently. The communication that's required is different. Sitting around a kitchen table versus sitting across possibly, multiple countries, multiple, time zones, very different communication style. And it's adapting recognizing that, adapting to what your need is going forward. And then that final bit of making sure the kills are appropriate to your pride. And I've seen many businesses that said, a year ago, that £10,000 piece of business, that £20,000 piece of business, that's our target market. But now your pride has doubled in size.
Yeah.
You now are a 50-person business, not a 25-person. So is that the right target market? Is that where you should be going? How does that impact your pricing? How does it impact your products?
Yeah.
How does that impact your services and the premium level that you're looking to portray to your clients? What's the value that you're bringing there? So I think there's some real learnings from how the male pride looks to survive and then thrive, and the same how a business should look to survive and then thrive.
Yeah, good lessons.